So is life a gift? Is life a gift that cannot be repaid? Are most people consumed with guilt over this, making sacrifices and willfully enduring self-imposed suffering over the non-repayable gift? Self-imposed suffering doesn't sound like a very good gift. If the gift is going to result in a lot of guilt and suffering over having the gift, then it sounds more like a gift one wouldn't want to receive. And anyway, the whole idea of gift sounds more like a destination reached rather than a journey. And what exactly about life is the gift? Self-awareness? Does that mean that instinct awareness and collective awareness are not gifts, or are they gifts too? So it seems that before you can even answer the question, is life a gift, you must first define what exactly a gift is and what it is that's being given. And not everyone is going to agree on these definitions. In the context of duality, how can you call life anything and be completely accurate? Why is life necessarily a gift and not a curse? If you can say that life is a gift that cannot be repaid, you could also say that life is a curse that people are paying for. The problem is that any subjective observation that you can make about life, the opposite is also true. It can't be only one or the other, because both could be said to be valid. You cannot say life is all happiness because there is sadness. It cannot be all sunshine because there is darkness. It cannot be all good because there is evil. To insist that life is only one particular thing from a dualistic inventory is not only subjective but inaccurate. Both sides of duality must be said to be true to be totally accurate. Or you could take it a step further and say none of it is true. That it is all just subjective observations that consciousness makes through an awareness that has formed attachments to illusionary transient perceptibles. Take a point of consciousness, seal it in a capsule, and shoot it deep into outer space. Then what does the perceived life become? Is it still a gift? And what about extending this into dreams? Are dreams a gift also? In dreams there are paradises and nightmares, but can any of it be called a gift or a curse? People would more than likely say no because it's just a dream. But is life all that different? If we can dismiss dreams as illusion because we are asleep and then awaken, then we can also dismiss life as the same because we are born and then we die. So the idea of what a gift is, what it is exactly we are given, and the notion of life as a gift is all very subjective. Not to mention, way self-important. To say that life is either a gift or a curse is very self-important. To assume that you are something so special that you should be sustained so that you might be either rewarded or punished. It is absurd, but this is what encompasses selfhood. And this is why you are trapped in self-awareness. Self-importance takes no responsibility for creation and therefore creates nothing. It therefore becomes a vacuum. And what's so special about a vacuum? And this is why it is self-important to assert that life is a gift. But if you're gonna assert that subjective observation, then you gotta back it up with something. Life being a gift for no reason is a lack of responsibility. There's more responsibility in saying that life is a gift for no reason because life has no purpose than it is to have no reason. not to be able to offer up any assertion to back up the subjective observation. Atheists, theists, and pantheists have offered observations, and some of those observations could possibly answer this question. I do not think their observations are an attempt to run from the fact that life is a gift, but more of a way to come to terms to what is. But I tell you one thing, if life is a gift, then almost no one wants to take any responsibility for it. Atheists contend that everything happens by random chance, and there is no purpose in anything. Consciousness exists and operates by rolls of the dice and nothing else. There is not only no responsibility in this, but there is also no gift in this. So it seems that the atheist observation is that life is not a gift. There is no giver and there is no receiver. Theists contend that everything happens by God's will and the only purpose is God's divine plan. Consciousness operates supposedly by free will, but since God knows everything in advance before it happens, it is therefore preordained. Fate with only an illusion of free will and choice. And in the grand scheme of things, it is all God's creation, and therefore God's responsibility. There is no responsibility in this, but there is a gift in this. In fact, life being a gift only makes sense through the theist observation. Not only is life a gift, but there is a giver and a receiver. But within this thinking, the gift itself is pretty dubious. There's a lot of strings attached with this gift. A true gift doesn't have any strings attached, no expectation of a return. And this is the real Achilles heel of the whole theist notion. The question is, why would God create something and then give it as a gift to some form of an other that he himself created, but then ultimately become disappointed in the creation he gave creation, get angry and destroy it? Why would God do that? Well, you could ask yourself the same question. Why would you do that? Why would you create a reality that you would ultimately become disappointed and get angry about and want to destroy? Can it be because you have forgotten that you are the creator of your reality and you are too caught up in thinking that your reality is a gift? More than likely, life is not a gift given to consciousness by some separate God, entity, or deity, but more of a creation by an entity that encompasses the entity. That your reality is not a gift. You create your own reality. It is only the pantheist Eastern philosophy that takes any responsibility for reality. We are all one, so any and everything that happens within consciousness is consciousness's responsibility. So if life is a gift, then the giver and the receiver are one and the same. Truth is that life is not a gift, but a present moment. Much of the sacrifices that have been made by people throughout history are made not out of guilt, but to appease angry gods or to curry favor with the gods. The definition of God may vary from culture to culture, but it's still the same motive. Whether people are trying to get in tune with nature or some idea of a supreme being, it is the same. All the human, animal, and resource sacrifices were nothing more than man trying to influence a higher power. People needed rain, a good harvest, luck in battle, and protection. Eventually, sacrificing to the gods was replaced by prayer or some other type of less primitive ritual. But it was all done out of desire, not guilt. But honestly, if man really does feel guilty about a life that he feels that cannot be repaid, I would suggest to stop having that perception that it cannot be repaid. Because the perception that it cannot be repaid, despite the guilt, only absolves man of responsibility. There are plenty of things man can do if he really wants to give back. Protect animals, women, and children. Stop killing all sentient life. Stop raping and polluting the planet. Stop being a greedy pig. Be selfless and give as much to the world as you can, and expect nothing in return.